But from there, man, I remember going to the little doctor's office and confirming that we were pregnant. It was like in an instant, I was like, man, I'm gonna be a dad. And that totally changed my perspective on everything. So I grew up as a pastor's son, and that came with a lot of difficulties in itself. There's a lot of expectation from your parents, especially if they're a pastor, like to be that child.
Just a kind of brief overview for those of you that are just joining us. Gregory Wagnon here is a former assaultman, a 0351 in the Marine Corps. Served from, was it 2006, 7? 2006 to 2010. Yeah. You were in 2nd Marine Division. You were in 9th Marines, is that right?
2nd Battalion, 8th Marines.
8th Marines, 2-8.
Yeah.
Okay, you were in 2-8.
Fox Company.
Fox Company,
right.
Which is the Helo company, right?
No, we're not Helo.
Not for you guys?
Nope. We were Fox Company, and then we had 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and then weapons platoon, and we were just ground.
Just pushing ground pound, yeah. Well, you've had a very interesting life, and I'm looking forward to getting into some of the details of a lot of the experiences that you had. I think that a lot of the things that you've gone through and a lot of the things that you've experienced, both in your personal life and professional life, are things that are going to be valuable to a lot of folks out there. I mean, we've had brief conversations just so that you guys understand. Like, I met Gregory here at the gym, just working out, and like we got to talking, and just like drawn to folks that look like they've been working real hard, and I just, for some reason, I had a feeling, I was like, are you in the military at some point? And he's like, yeah, I was in the Marine Corps, from 2006 to 2010, and I thought, this dude's got some valuable stories. I think that a lot of you guys will probably benefit from them, and I'm grateful that you were able to take the opportunity to come here and do this. I'm glad that this kind of panned out, and I appreciate your time, taking the time out of your Saturday when you could be relaxing to come here.
I would be surfing right now.
And chat. Surfing, okay. Yeah. It's funny. I know a lot of Marines that like to surf, especially when I was in Hawaii. We had a whole bunch of guys that would just surf on the weekends. A lot of dudes, a lot of infantry dudes. Yeah. Like some of the hardest dudes I've met are just like chilled. They're just chill, laid back guys.
It is the most relaxing thing. I just got into it this year, and being out, I love the beach. I love being by the water, the sand, just the sun.
Yeah.
It is my peaceful time. It really is. I go out there and no electronics. I can walk by myself, have time with God, and really just be by myself, reflect.
Yeah.
When you're out on the water, out on a board, you go out there, you get a little workout, get your shoulder pump.
Yeah.
But then you're chilling on the water, and it is unreal. And then when you hit a wave, the first time I hit a wave, I stood up. I was riding it, and it was just floating on water, gliding, and I was like, this is so unreal. I was I looked over at my boy. He's in the Navy. He was a Green Side Corpsman.
Yeah.
I've got a men's group that I run, veterans men's group. We'll go into that and all that kind of stuff. But he's part of that. He's a real close friend of mine. And
that's awesome.
I was on the board. It's the first time hitting a wave, and I looked over at him. I was like, what? It's dude, this is so dope. After that, I was sold. So, yeah.
Everybody I know that surfs, everybody speaks super highly of it. I mean, it's they're a big passion for a lot of guys. It's a great way to kind of detach.
It is.
And just kind of get out there and be out there in nature and just kind of be in the moment.
I'd much rather be doing that than sitting on, a game console or watching TV or something like that. Kind of just sitting on the couch wasting away. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
I would much rather be outside, be active, moving.
Yeah.
My mind's moving, all of that.
Touching some grass.
Absolutely.
Getting out there, being outside. It's
needed.
Yeah. We have a severe deficiency in vitamin D anyway, so it's good to be out in the sun for a little bit and get a little bit of sunlight on your face. I mean, that there's a direct correlation between happiness levels and the amount of sun you're either getting or not getting. And so that's super.
Well, it's just even being
pertinent.
grounded to the earth, walking with your shoes off and walking in the grass, feeling that grass, you actually get grounded like electricity to the earth.
Yeah,
it makes
I've heard
you
that
feel
too.
better.
Yeah,
it's crazy. So I've never done the testing on it, but do I feel better when I do it? And I have that in my mind. Sure.
Hey, if it works,
you know what I mean? Yeah,
it makes you feel
placebo
good.
Placebo effect or whatever.
Yeah, if it makes you feel good, dude. And you're not hurting anybody. It's who could say not to do that? But anyway, so let's. I kind of want to start back in the beginning a little bit. Start with kind of where you're from, kind of a little bit about your background. where you grew up, things like that. So what state were you born in?
Yeah, so I was born in Williamsport, Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. Okay.
In 1987. 37.
87. Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you're only 1 year younger than me.
Okay, I was gonna ask how old you were. Yeah,
I'm a lot more childish than you are. You're a lot more mature than I am.
No, man, I'm a big child. I definitely am. I feel like the older I get, I have to hold on to that childlike behavior.
Yeah.
In a mature way,
Sure.
right? Like I'm not doing stupid things,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like, man, I love going to a jump house. I'm a youth leader at my church. Right?
Okay.
So it's like I'm very much so involved in the youth because one, just raising them and everything that I've been through, I can help, hopefully guide them a little bit.
Yeah.
But also because I get to do a bunch of fun stuff with them.
Yeah.
Kid stuff.
Yeah.
So we went to the aqua park recently.
Oh, that's
Got
cool.
to do that. So I'm a big kid.
Yeah.
But yeah, Pennsylvania, Williamsport. The only thing I know about that is that it's the Little League World Series. That's where it's at.
The Little League World Series?
Yep. Little League World Series is there in Williamsport, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Probably the only thing that was keeping it alive.
There's a lot of
At
things
least
like that
from
there.
what I remember, right? So
Yeah.
this was 30 years ago that I lived there.
Okay.
I was only there till I was 6 years old, and then about that 6-7-year-old, we moved to Colorado.
Okay,
Lived
gotcha.
in Colorado Springs, Fountain area. My dad, he started a church out there. So we affiliated with the one in Pennsylvania.
Dad started a church.
My dad did.
Was he a pastor?
So he became a pastor and then started that church out in Colorado, which was affiliated with the one that we were in Pennsylvania.
Okay,
So
gotcha.
kind of like a branch off of it.
Yeah.
So he was a pastor there, and so I grew up as a pastor's son, and that came with a lot of difficulties in itself.
Yeah.
There's a lot of expectation from your parents, especially if they're a pastor, like to be that child, right?
Yeah.
I'm one of 6 kids. I didn't say that. So
Okay.
I'm one of 6. I've got a twin brother. We are the youngest.
Twin brother.
Yeah.
No
So,
kid. Does he look just like you, or are you fraternal?
man, if he was in this room, you would have no idea he's my brother.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. So there's 6 of us, 6 and under. So my oldest, Abigail, she's 6 years older.
Okay.
So I have 3 sisters.
Yeah.
2 brothers.
All from the same parents?
All from the same parents. My parents have been married for 48 years, I think.
Wow.
Something like that.
That's a long
Maybe
time.
50, close to 50, yeah.
That's crazy.
And their marriage, ups and downs.
Yeah.
Right? Hard times, lows, like good times, bad times. It was rocky for my parents for a while, but they stayed together, and they have a beautiful marriage, and really, again, just with God in their lives, like they were able to stay together.
That's a tough thing, man, because like my parents were married for 29 years, and then they got divorced actually the year that I left for Marine Corps recruit training, because they just kind of grew apart. And
did they stay together for you?
I think
Do you know
so. So I have 2 brothers. It's just me and my 2 brothers, and I'm pretty sure by the time they were separating, all of us had moved out of the house.
Yeah.
And I think that part of the reason they stuck together was to make sure that we all had a safe, happy, loving home when we were kids, as that foundational period in your life to kind of grow up like in a household with both parents in it.
Yeah.
And they did the best they could with what they had. Like we didn't grow up wealthy or anything. We were pretty poor when we were kids. Like we would I didn't like when I remember when I was a kid, like we'd go to school and a lot of the kids would have like new shoes in the beginning of the year. That was like the thing back when I was a kid, like getting a new pair of shoes to start the new year with, and I would usually have the shoes from the last year because it's like we just didn't have a lot of money. So I would always ask them for new shoes because I didn't want to, be that one kid that didn't have the new pair of shoes and stuff. But they just, they were both working a lot, trying to kind of support a family. And my dad was like working at an inn washing dishes for a period of time, but he was also running his own business, restoring furniture. And he restored furniture pretty much for a large majority of my life, had his own business for a while doing that. And then my mom was actually an Episcopal priest, but she wasn't an ordained minister at the time. She was just working in a church. Mm-hmm. And then she also worked at Walmart as a cashier for a period of time too, while we were still kids. We were living up in Maine still at the time. And I think they did a good job raising us. They we had a very loving household. They had their ups and downs too. There were some fights here and there. I remember as a kid, like some things got escalated out of control kind of, but there was never any like physical violence or anything like that. It was just like yelling and screaming maybe. And money was always a real big problem for us when I was a kid. That was one of the things they used to fight about a lot, which possibly maybe that had an impact on like my desire to be in a financially secure position in life later, because I didn't, I saw how much of a negative impact that had on their marriage and relationship and the family dynamics, just because of how hard it can impact a family, like being in a hard up situation financially.
Stress.
Yeah, it causes a lot of stress, because then you got to figure out how you're going to feed your family, how you're going to pay rent, how you're going to pay bills. You can't necessarily buy your kids all the stuff they want, even though you want to get them everything they want because you want them to be happy and you want them to get all that stuff. But even if you did have the money, it's like, well, okay, is that going to be good for them to get all this stuff for free without earning it? And without, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
there's that fine line of like overly giving and hey, you can have whatever you want. And then there's the, hey, this is what is needed like to get by. Yeah.
And it's a tough balancing act. And I mean, they did the best they could. And honestly, I don't know the first thing about being a parent because I don't have any kids yet. So I mean, all the stuff I'm saying is just from my personal experience and speculation at this point, really. And from friends of mine who have kids, because most people my age have 2-3 kids, because a lot of cats I know that are, in their late 30s have already had like 2-3 kids by that point. So I'm kind of an outlier in that sense. But I think that's possibly one of the reasons why I've waited to have kids for so long, is because I wanted to get into a financially secure position before I started having kids, because I maybe don't want to have those same fights and arguments with my spouse, because I can't afford to do this, that, and the other or whatever. So maybe that's part of the reason, or maybe that's part of the reason.
I feel like with that though, it's like, I remember Charles, he's the oldest. He was an unexpected blessing.
Yeah. Okay.
So
I like how you phrase that, an unexpected blessing.
Yeah, we were not really trying or prepared or ready financially, anything.
Yeah.
And we found out that we were having Charles, and it totally changed our lives.
Yeah.
But from that, man, I remember going to the the little doctor's office and confirming that we were pregnant. And, it was like in an instant, I was like, man, I'm gonna be a dad, and that totally changed my perspective on everything.
Was Charles your first?
Charles is my first.
Okay,
gotcha. He's my oldest.
Okay,
and it was like, I'm gonna be a dad, and then it is like those things like, hey, you want to provide, you want to give, you want to, and being a man, right?
Yeah.
So like men, for my personal nature, right?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna speak for other men.
Yeah.
It is natural for me to want to provide and to protect and to be that person that they can come to. My wife, my children, like all that kind of stuff at that time. So it's like you want to do all these things, but you really do the best that you can, and you give what you can at that time, and it is the best as long as you are giving your best. But all of those things, like you were talking about being like financially stable. Bro, we were not financially stable. We were not even relationally stable.
Yeah.
So, and it's like, I mean, we were married for a year, came down here from Raleigh, came down here and started our life together.
From Raleigh.
And so it was, it all worked out.
Yeah.
And had a great marriage for the first year, about year and a half of Charles being born, and decided to have our second child.
Yeah.
Because it was great. They're 22 months apart, Charles and Beau. And they're best friends, and
that's cool.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, me and my brothers are pretty close as well. We play video games together and stuff still, even in our like 30s, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
My middle brother's actually expecting his first child, but myself and my youngest brother have not had any kids yet. So that's going to be an interesting change to our dynamic. But we're all still very close. We get together during the holidays and everything like that. Try to spend time with each other whenever we can. Stayed pretty close. We used to fight like cats and dogs when we were younger, of course, because like you're picking on your younger brother or whatever, that's what you do when you're a kid. You fight with your siblings and stuff. It's just kind of the way it ends up going. But
that was me like growing up. I'm again one of 6.
Yeah.
I am the biggest child. So growing up, and actually like growing up, like my dad was talking about like Colorado and him being a pastor.
Yeah.
Grew up in a Pentecostal church.
Okay.
Hellfire, brimstone, damnation. Like if you didn't go to our church, you were going to hell.
Okay. Is it like kind of like being a Baptist, would you say, or something?
Nah, dude, that's kind of what I am now.
Okay.
I'm kind of more like a non-denominational Baptist church that I go to now, which is Awaken Church.
Okay.
And definitely not, man. I mean, we preach the word of God.
Yeah.
And we don't stray from the word of God. We're not ashamed of the word of God.
Yeah.
But we also preach truth and life and the love of Jesus Christ and really the grace of Jesus. And I'll talk about that with my life, right?
Sure,
like,
yeah.
We'll go over some of that stuff. But
Yeah.
growing up in that Pentecostal church and my dad being the pastor, my dad, he was a pastor. He was also a painter, had his own business, trying to provide for his wife and 6 kids.
Yeah, which is a lot. That's a steep order, man.
And man, we started a church. So it wasn't like we were at a mega church having tons of money come in and all that. Like I remember growing up being poor.
Yeah.
I remember a lot of rice and beans.
Yeah.
I used to say this all the time. It's like, like sloppy joes.
Yeah.
Like we would have sloppy joes without the joe.
Oh,
so like I just kind of remember that. Like what did we use? Like we didn't have like hamburger meat, and it was like, did we put it on rice? Like I kind of remember that, like just like the sloppy joe mix.
Yeah,
but like didn't have meat, right? So like, I mean, there were definitely times, and like I remember that kind of, but like, did I make that up? I can't remember.
Yeah,
but we were poor.
Yeah,
and I remember, even Christmas, like not getting gifts, right? You talking about shoes, bro? The K-Swisses back in the day.
Yeah.
In Colorado, K-Swiss, they were all white. Every year, you try to get your new kicks.
Your new.
I was not one of the ones that was getting the pure white kicks. Yeah.
I was wearing like Everlast shoes from Walmart, bro.
Yeah, there you go.
We were roughing it,
Yeah. So yeah, growing up there and in Colorado, we were there for about 7 years.
Okay.
My dad. What part of